And a warm welcome to all of you. Thank you for joining us here today for another live episode of Conversations with Michael. Let's take our deep breath here together because there's a lot of energies here in service to all of us, in service to helping each of you integrate that presence of your own soul into your day-to-day reality. You know, we love beginning each month in this way. It gives us the opportunity to hang out a little bit with some of our fellow creators. That would be all of you. So a big thank you to all of you for choosing to join us. We are also streaming live here on our Vimeo and YouTube channel. And of course, on our website, all from our home studio in the beautiful state of Oregon. And it is an absolutely beautiful day here in Oregon. If you haven't noticed, the energy in these monthly gatherings they've shifted quite a bit over the years, especially during this year. And we understand it's not for everyone, but it speaks volumes about the love so many of you have reclaimed for yourself. We know that throughout the history of this human family, there are pages filled with countless battles that help to support an endless variety of power games. And looking at this from the outside in, it would appear that this human species sits at the bottom of a very long evolutionary ladder, lacking the wisdom, the compassion, or even the courage to change. But let's not forget why Earth exists in the first place. There would be no need for us to place both feet on this sacred ground if we had resolved our cosmic issues in the non-physical realms. Earth was created to hopefully set those issues free. So many of our human stories are but a reflection of a very ancient perception that had us believing that the original self had somehow separated itself from us. So in hindsight, it's easy to point fingers when you're not including the bigger picture. And we wanted to bring this up today because our collective light is beginning to expose a lot of what has been ignored. The family of humanity suffers from a broken heart. So many underlying self-esteem issues that are now beginning to surface big time. Shutting down is one way to deal with it, but there are other ways. And if you're feeling it, don't take it personally. It's not your issue. But let's remember for just a moment here why we are here. In service to a cosmic story that found itself on life support. Most of you that are watching today, you are the ones that volunteered to come to this physical reality. Nobody twisted your arm. You are the ones that actually stepped forward to use this physical experience to help reclaim what all of us could feel was missing, a natural state of being. And to all of you that took that service to heart, we are here today to say loud and clear, thank you. Thank you, my friends, for your service. It needs to be said, because more than likely, when it is all said and done, you're not going to hear it from too many other beings, human or otherwise, because it now has the potential of doing what? It has the potential of resetting our entire cosmic story. Deep breath there. Which will impact how we relate to our freedom, both on and off of this planet. By reclaiming our natural state, the flow of energy has also shifted. You can feel it in your own life, perhaps in a way that not all beings are celebrating just yet, because it changes so many agendas that have helped to define our perception of any given reality, which of course is why we volunteered to leave our spiritual families, to rediscover a sense of freedom that isn't conflicted or filled with drama. So again, thank you to all of you for having the courage to step forward. And to those of you that are new to Ancient Wings, welcome. Welcome. We hope you can feel how much honor and respect we have for the human experience. Because what we are inviting our human identity to do is no small thing. To change the role it has played for most of your life. A role that allows the presence of your soul to also be present. Sounds exciting, but it's not an easy thing to do. Our connection to our soul brings up our connection to a lot of different things. Primarily, our connection to our sovereignty. So there's a lot of resistance to such a change. And from my own experience, I discovered that the natural state of our soul is both multifaceted and multidimensional. There are parts of your soul that feel disconnected from the source of life, and other parts that experience their divine nature as being God too. Integrating all these parts, well, it's not for the faint of heart, but it does have the potential of setting free all those underlying doubts, all those worries and concerns, all that fear. Here on earth, our soul acts as a individuated facet of what is known as your oversoul, or what we also call your eternal self. Each of you have your own unique oversoul. You all know mine is called Michael or Michael. As a multidimensional creator, Michael set free different parts of his self, duplicating how the original self separated or set free itself, so as to experience his own creations inside a variety of realities. As Robert, I represent a part of Michael that was set free to experience being human. Michael prefers to call me by my soul name, Kethra. So, all of us are involved with shifting our identity big time, which gives us access to a variety of realms, different dimensions, different perspectives, and some incredible insights and wisdom. And then, of course, my passion is to share this unique experience as a natural part of being a human being. Let's take another deep breath there. As each of us, in our own unique way, have embraced and embodied our natural state, things begin to change big time. So when I speak as Michael, this is not a channeled message. My voice or my expressions don't become animated, nor do I need to close my eyes to deepen the connection with these other parts of me. For me, it just feels really natural, which I hope allows you to trust in your own natural abilities, your own natural state of being. As together then, we break the lines of separation between these different parts of our soul nature. Let's take a moment to just tune in to your soul's presence. Feel into it. And if you're comfortable, invite the oversoul to also be present. Just by allowing it. Just by allowing it. Very good. Very good. Did you notice that the energy with your oversoul becomes a little more intense, a little more dynamic when that part of your soul is present? It's a good thing to practice. It's available to all of you to practice anytime you want. So, with over 8 billion human beings on the planet right now, there are only a few thousand oversouls that are connected to this human family. And one of them is you. Let's take a deep breath. As I once again step back and allow Michael to step forward in this multifaceted dance we are sharing with all of you. Indeed we are. Thank you to all of you. It is I, Michael, in service to your own unique voice. Thank you, Robert and Kethra, for your introduction. But let's be clear. Indeed, I, Michael, would not be here today on this show if not for the presence of Kethra. And he would not be here at all if not for me. As a soul being, most of you birthed yourself on this planet a long time ago, far removed from the comfort of your own spiritual families and non-physical friends, far removed from the comfort of your lineage to any particular star system. And at times, you also felt like you were far removed from your own oversoul. At times, so far removed that it frightened you. And yet you remained. Not because you didn't feel you deserved to be supported. Not at all. You remained here on earth because you knew something was missing. You could feel it inside of you. You no longer accepted the separation that had developed between beings in the non-physical realms And then something changed. So yes, thank you for allowing what has always existed inside of all beings to now be present in your own life. Thank you for allowing it to introduce its presence, at least energetically, with your human identity and with this human family, which offers a tangible, living example of how to create your reality inside of these free-flowing energies for all beings to see. So yes, thank you for remembering who you truly are and have always been inside a physical reality that brought all those cosmic issues to the forefront, in your face, played out in slow motion, which gave all of you the opportunity to acknowledge the discomfort that is a byproduct of pretending you're not God also. Thank you for now sharing that presence with your human family, with this universe, with this galaxy, with all of creation. It offers a type of freedom that is missing in so many realms that for the most part are unknown to your human self. You see, my friends, creation is filled with some of the most intelligent beings you will ever meet. Incredibly intelligent. But what have you discovered here as a human being about your own intelligence? Indeed, if there is a lack of wisdom, you now know that consciousness itself isn't present. And because of that, heart-centered beings have become a rare thing. And if indeed there exists an evolutionary ladder, that too has shifted. Because so many of you have allowed the presence of your soul during this lifetime, your own divine nature, to now be present. The perception of that evolutionary ladder has been flipped upside down. And if you are someone who enjoys playing follow the leader, now would be a good time, whether you're physical or not, to get behind the new human species. One that allows the light of consciousness to coexist with its human identity. Are all of you here today feeling how incredible this is? How incredible the human part is for allowing such an experience? Indeed, the human identity has suffered from a very low self-esteem for a very long time. But that too is changing. The next phase for the evolving human experience, well, that can be very challenging for the human part. But it's time. It simply is time. It's time, my friends, to take ownership of your own voice, the voice of your soul, a voice that speaks for the very core of your own soul. You don't have to channel for such a voice. After all, it's you that you would be channeling for. We know that on your freedom or on your journey to your freedom, many of you have lied awake in bed many nights wondering, where is this presence we speak of? Many nights feeling like you're fighting for the right to be who you have chosen to be. Literally fighting for your own identity. You have the right to coexist with the presence of your soul. But you had to free yourself from relying on the self-critic as being your truth. That part of you feeds on your perceived mistakes and your failures. All those doubts, worries, and concerns. And then there is that part of you that has played the role of a warrior lifetime after lifetime. Does it not find itself a bit unemployed these days? To make room for what? Well, another part of you that doesn't do battle. That part is comfortable just being. And to the warrior part, there's no power in such a presence. Not doing to your warrior self represents such a passive approach to living. From its perspective, not doing allows others to take advantage of you. It uses the self-critic as an example. You must fight back if you want your freedom, or so it believes. So when your divine nature begins to emerge, only because you allowed it, it can be really confusing for those other parts of you. Because the being part of you has no fear. Despite its apparent vulnerability, your warrior part would suggest that such a state of being represents a type of delusion. It would suggest that you look at the world around you to see for yourself what is really happening. But your being part has no fear because it knows who it is, no matter what role it is playing. The role itself doesn't define it, nor will it allow it to be defined by the role. It knows it attracts to it whatever energy serves its passion. And because it doesn't feel conflicted, it doesn't attract conflicts. So that trusted sword of your warrior slowly begins to fall away. It's an awkward place to find yourself in. But once you lay down your sword, you'll discover it takes a tremendous amount of energy to pretend you're not this divine part of you, the being part. Always searching for energy outside of you can be exhausting. Do you want proof? You need not look any further than the state of your natural resources on this planet. Such an appetite for consuming energies outside of oneself can devastate a planet. So a major shift was required. But again, this shift pretty much leaves that warrior part of you unemployed. Because you embraced tough love in relationship to that self-critic. But what's a human being to do if there's no drama in your life? No power games to participate in. No one doing anything to you without your permission or against your will. So today, we just can't say it enough. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you to all of you that had the courage to lay the sword down. Yes, we know with it was kind of exciting, especially if your side wins the battle. But everyone loses if the game itself starts to consume everything around it, including your own energy if you're playing the game. So the road ahead for this human family is going to be a little bumpy, because not everyone is embracing, if you haven't noticed, this new way of being human. Their addiction to power is very evident. It really doesn't matter if you're playing the role of the dictator or the victim. It takes two to tangle for the power games to work. But it appears that a small minority of human beings are just tired of the game itself. They're looking for alternate versions of their own known reality. Some of the most obvious have taken the form of a more sustainable lifestyle. There are millions of people who are putting their heart and soul into creating alternate versions of just about everything, all in the name of sustainability. While at the same time, there are now thousands of people who have taken the road less traveled by looking inside of themselves, which can appear to be a cop-out to all those creating alternate lifestyles, but it really isn't. In fact, they complement each other really well. One is helping the other by living on this planet but not of it, by sharing a fresh new energy they rediscovered within themselves. Such a realization begins to shift your attention. It gives you the time and energy to clean up your inner reality, allowing the presence of your soul now provides an endless supply of free energy. But to tap into such a reservoir, what have you all discovered? Indeed, one would need to unplug themselves from a system of reality that supports itself by extracting or consuming energies from outside of you. And this is where so many walk away from such an experience, because the unplugging process also impacts a lot of people you care about. So by honoring both the be of it approach and the not of it choice, together they serve the potential for freeing yourself from a system of reality that serves a few but leaves most wanting more. Wanting what? For most of humanity, the freedom to just exist without the struggle. The freedom to have clean water, basic housing and food. Imagine a world that no longer spends trillions of dollars to defend itself from each other, billions of dollars to help resolve all the underlying feelings of guilt and shame. So the changes that will help to restore the health and well-being of all life on this planet might be a little challenging to witness. Because not every human being is choosing in this lifetime to stop playing those power games. It doesn't matter the role you're playing, whether you're the control freak, the victim, or the dictator. But the fact that so many have stopped playing the game shows you the impact such a choice can have on any given reality. Those beings that can view your world from off of this planet, my friends, they have taken notice of what you're doing and how that applies to their own reality. All of you are about to witness extreme changes that can and will greatly impact this planet, both as that relates to a heartfelt desire for freedom and the fear that many feel from such a freedom. The transition to a soul-filled life for any individual is not for the faint of heart. Most that are watching this show know firsthand of what we speak of. And as you now observe that same transition as it relates to the collective consciousness on this planet, it's time, my friends, to take those rose-colored glasses off. Oh, we know they're fun to wear, but it's going to be intense for a couple of years. You don't need to be a psychic to see what is right in front of you. All of you know how intense it was or still is inside your own personal transformation. So the role that a lot of you now play for the foreseeable future is to be the observer, while taking responsibility for shining your light. But some of you might experience, as Kethra did, this uncontrollable passion to share the voice of your soul, and at times, your oversoul. Your soul's expression can take many forms. Many of you can feel this underlying wisdom looking to express itself, which if shared, could help to relieve some of the fear in the collective consciousness of this human family. But you might also be surprised to experience how your newfound love for self has shifted big time. What have you noticed? Indeed, it cannot be contained. It cannot. For yourself, most of humanity, and a lot of creation, true love is very rare, meaning a love for yourself that does not need to be loved back to feel fulfilled. True love cannot be managed. It can spread like a wildfire in all directions without being able to control it. This we know is very appealing to some, but not to others. And as that relates to your own experience and its impact on this planet, you'll be able to look back in just a few decades. You'll be amazed at how the energy of self-love has opened so many doors that never appeared to exist before. And as that relates to your personal life, your respect and your appreciation for all that you are, it allows all those energies that are once dominated our cosmic story, that once dominated our cosmic story and impacted your personal life here on earth, they can now finally be set free, which in turn sets your story free. A story that had you believing that you're all alone on this planet. Now, by the grace of the original self, in the form of your oversoul and your soul, you will perceive reality for what it truly is and what it isn't. Such a view has inspired countless artists. Now it is your turn. Whatever excuse you have told yourself, whatever lie you believed about yourself, and no matter how many times your mind convinced you to just sit rather than act, you're going to discover that this degree of love you're willing to feel about you and only you has no boundaries. It's why so many are more than willing to give lip service to such a love and limit that expression of love by depending on being loved back first. But very few allow themselves to experience true love in a soul-filled type of way. And because this love cannot be managed or controlled, it can only be allowed and expressed and shared. It has created many sleepless nights for those that are addicted to playing the power games. In the face of a collective wave of love, game over, my friends. The game is over. Let's pause for just a moment here and breathe together as you allow yourself to feel just for you an extreme appreciation for who you are. A complete acceptance for all parts of you, for whatever you've been, whatever you've ever done. This love that you're allowing yourself to feel just for you is changing your life. But it doesn't stop there. It has no boundaries. It changes everything. Deep breath. Each of you in your own unique way, you're helping to initiate a new human experience. It starts here on this beautiful planet called Earth. But the energy it serves cannot be contained. It will spread like a wildfire to all corners of creation. Many will open their heart to such a gift and then realize it takes a lot of responsibility to embody such a presence. Many will also feel it coming and will try everything known to them to redirect it, only to discover it will run circles around all those redirecting tactics. My friends, you have helped initiate a galactic or cosmic reset. And it was here on earth, by the presence of your soul and your oversoul, that you helped to change how energy was flowing, both on and off of this planet. It's time for all those that you left behind in the non-physical realms to offer a collective thank you. It's time to turn the page. Our service to each of you will, of course, continue. Now, we can feel the joy in your heart to finally free yourself of all that was never yours to carry. And we too are very much looking forward to spending 3 days together in our upcoming iMystic workshop in July. So many new potentials are just waiting for you to receive them. So many opportunities to consciously create the reality you and only you want to experience. You don't need to wait any longer. This is your time. It's why you came here in the first place. It's why you kept returning lifetime after lifetime in service to your freedom. Our joy is to also be of service to that freedom. Such an honor to witness your joy, your clarity, and your well-being beginning to surface in ways that we could have never predicted. Thank you for your service. Until we meet again, all of our blessings.